Now broadcasting from his hidden bunker and fully stocked bar, it is the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Hello everyone, it's me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. Welcome to the Saturday Report with, me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, back from my vacation. I thought about taking a week off, but you know what? I just couldn't. The news never stops, so here I am. I may sound a little jet-lagged, because I am. And, but anyways, I'm here for another week of the Saturday Report, bringing you the news of the week that you may have missed, and some other big stories that everyone is also talking about. So, without further delay, let's get started with this week's Saturday Report. First this week, one of several big stories. U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein passed away at the age of 90. Was the oldest member of the U.S. Senate, where she had served since 1992. She held her seat in the chamber longer than any other woman and any other senator from California. She passed away on Friday at her home in Washington, D.C. She had been plagued with health issues for the last year, spending several months outside of Washington, D.C. to deal with various things like shingles, a fall, things like that. There have been a lot of questions about her mental state of being able to be a U.S. Senator, with a lot of people gently pushing her to retire, but she refused to, but she did succumb to various ailments this Friday in Washington, D.C. According to a statement from her chief of staff, James Saul, quote, "There are few women who can be called senator, chairman, mayor, wife, mom, and grandmother. Senator Feinstein was a force of nature who made an incredible impact on our country and her home state." Her career first started in the 1970s. After two bids for mayor failed, she was elected as San Francisco's Board of Supervisors in 1978, becoming the first woman to hold that title. However, she was made acting mayor later that year, when then Mayor George Moscone and Harvey Milk were both killed and assassinated by board member Dan White. Harvey Milk being one of the first openly gay city leaders in the United States. Several movies made about that entire incident. Definitely worth checking out. Sean Penn was Harvey Milk in a movie. She announced the death of both Harvey Milk and the mayor live on TV, and then also said that Dan White was the suspect in the murder. She was first one to find Harvey Milk's body, and when she was looking for a pulse, she put her finger in one of the bullet holes in the attack. And she was then made acting mayor afterwards, being the first female mayor of San Francisco. And then I believe she was reelected. Then she lost a bid for governor in 1990, but in 1992 she won a special election to the U.S. Senate, becoming California's first woman to hold a seat there. And then weeks later, in 1992, Barbara Boxer was sworn in as a senator, making California the first state to be represented in the Senate by two women at the same time. The elections came in the quote-unquote year of the woman, when 4 Democratic women were elected to the Senate, more than doubling the chamber's female representation, and then kind of opening the way for a lot of women to run for Senate and other representatives. And now there are about a quarter of the members of the Senate are women. She championed and wrote the 1994 assault weapons ban, a landmark bill that was a continuation of a long effort to enact stricter gun controls. However, that ban was only for 10-year. It had a 10-year sunset provision, had to be renewed, but it was, surprise, surprise, left to expire in 2004 under the administration of George W. Bush. She also sponsored bills that protected millions of acres of California desert, helped create the nationwide Amber Alerts network, helped authorize the Violence Against Women Act, and fought for the release of a lengthy report detailing the CIA's torture practices and other things that they did. She was one of the first women to head various Senate committees, such as intelligence, rules, things like that. And although unfortunately the last year it had been pretty a lot of speculation and talk about her mental acuity in the last few years, as she seemingly forgot names and confused people with other people. However, she did announce that she would not seek re-election in the end of 2024. There are three people, kind of big Democratic names running for that seat. It's going to be quite the slobber knocker, as it were, of who's going to replace her. Although with her death, Governor Gavin Newsom will have to appoint a temporary successor to fill that seat until the election. The three leading Democratic candidates are Representative Barbara Lee, Katie Porter, and Adam Schiff. However, she did have a seat on the Judicial Committee in the Senate. Now that she is gone, is a tie between Republicans and Democrats. That means judges are unlikely to continue to be approved. To replace her, it would take an agreement by the Senate, but Republicans are unlikely to fill that seat, blocking all future judicial nominations to go forward. A somewhat of a disaster of that matter. A lot of people sort of comparing her to Ruth Bader Ginsburg for not retiring in time to have someone replace them, only to die in office and kind of mess up judicial-related issues. But we'll see if that happens. Probably will. I don't think Republicans will probably do anything about that. But, yep. Senator Dianne Feinstein, longtime senator from California since 1992, the oldest serving senator in the Senate. I'm not sure who comes in after her. I will have to, Senate seniority. Have to figure out here, seniority Senate, and after her, now the oldest senator is, I don't know. I don't know who the seniority was. Chuck Grassley. Chuck Grassley? I don't know. Anyways, she was the oldest Democratic senator in the U.S. Senate. That's what that is. Oldest one. The current oldest one is Patty Murray, a Democrat from Washington. In fact, she is the president pro tempore of the Senate, which is usually the longest serving senator from the ruling party is the president pro tempore of the Senate. It would have been Dianne Feinstein, but given her age, she passed on it and it went to Patty Murray. Now, Patty Murray is the oldest Democratic senator in the Senate. The oldest senator overall is Chuck Grassley, who's been there since 1981, then Mitch McConnell since 1985, and then Patty Murray since 1993. So anyways, Senator Dianne Feinstein, longtime senator, passed away this week at the age of 90. Speaking of the government, unless something amazing happens, the U.S. government will shut down, if you're listening to this on Saturday, later today at midnight, unless a funding resolution can be worked out in Congress. And, the government will be shut down. Now, does that mean everything comes to a stop? No. But it does cause a lot of problems. It causes a lot of problems that could be avoided, but, of course, will not be. So what happens? Well, I will tell you. After a shut, a lot of the government keeps going. It's still going to be like the military protecting things, but no one gets paid in the military. Federal employees will be furloughed or asked to work without pay. So they'll be sent home and not paid, or they'll have to work but not be paid whatsoever. But don't worry, folks. Congress, folks that can't figure stuff out and have other people not paid, will still get paid. Look at that. The National Federation for Federal Employees, one of the unions that represents federal workers, estimated 2.1 civil federal workers could see delayed paychecks, and roughly 4 million federal contract workers will receive no paychecks. No paychecks at all. Nutrition and food assistance programs could be paused. So basically, Supplemental Food Assistance Program, SNAP, and Women and Infants and Children Program, WIC, will stop assistance. 7 million pregnant and postpartum women and infants who rely on it could lose access to it. The USDA Food and Nutritional Service is likely to run out of funding to support normal operations in just a few days. Social services for food and education will come to a halt, like Head Start, which supports education for 3 and 4-year-olds across the country. Meals on Wheels could get interrupted. National parks are expected to close, kicking everyone out of the park. Let's see here. What else? Healthcare. Healthcare is likely to go uninterrupted, but research could pause. Service members in the military can go without pay, as well will air traffic controllers, border control, TSA, so you could see slowdowns at the airport. Federal law enforcement investigations could slow. And, it's a big old mess. Now, it seems like this was not going to happen until Donald Trump ordered Republicans to shut things down to slow down the court cases going against them. And, here's the thing, though. Like, the government is not shutting down because, like, Democrats are stopping things. Is that Republicans can't agree amongst themselves to fund the government. On Friday, there was a resolution to fund the government for 30 days. But it got voted down by other Republicans. They couldn't pass it themselves, leading to a shutdown. Seems like some hard-right Republicans want to get Kevin McCarthy kicked out of the speakership, and they're just waiting for him to make a deal with Democrats to keep the government funding to do that. And who's to say how long this will last? Now, there has been other shutdowns in the past. They've been the most significant ones have been in the last 30 years, since 1995. Before 1995, there were 5 previous shutdowns. There was one during the Carter administration for 1 day. Cost the government $700,000. Ronald Reagan had 3. 1 for 1 day, 2 for about 4 hours, of which about, 500,000 workers were sent home for a day, basically. Then in 1990, George H.W. Bush had a 3-day shutdown that didn't really impact too much. But the big ones began during the Clinton era. In 1995, there was a 5-day shutdown. Then in 95 to 1996, there was a 21-day shutdown that cost the government $400 million. And Barack Obama had a 16-day shutdown in 2013, of which everything was shut down, costing the government $2.1 billion. This was mostly over the healthcare law, I guess you could say, healthcare law, and didn't get them anywhere. Then during Donald Trump's last term, his term, he had 2 shutdowns, one in 2018 for 3 days, and the longest one out there for 35 days, costing $5 billion, of which not only he was the president, but Republicans also controlled the Senate, also controlled the House as well. And that was a big old over the wall funding, I guess. Shut it down. It shut it down, and he was blamed. He said he would take credit for shutting it down, and then he blamed everyone else for it being shut down. Took no responsibility. Go figure. I would like to note, since 1995, Republicans have been in charge of the House and the Senate all but one time. Republicans have been in charge of the House every time a shutdown has started. And it does seem to be like their go-to thing when they can't get their way or can't get something passed all the way to the president that, well, if they're not going to negotiate, they'll just shut down the government. So I don't know how about this is going to end, because Kevin McCarthy has a 4-person majority and about 20 people don't like him, and he refuses to sort of negotiate with Democrats. So this could be a while until they sort things out. Here's the thing. This is like different from the debt ceiling. Last year they agreed to the debt ceiling, and when they did the debt ceiling, they had a budget agreement, but then that changed about 2 weeks later when he was trying to become, trying to keep his job, wanted to be the Speaker of the House, and now he's dealing with this. So midnight Saturday, a lot of people are not going to be paid. Fortunately, payday for the government was Friday, so be about 2 weeks until they start feeling the heat. Usually everyone gets paid back pay, so basically getting paid to do nothing. But yeah, kind of a mess. I'm glad I got back from Greece before this happened, because I was in customs for like 45 minutes. That took a while. Probably take even longer if the government is shut down. And again, hard to say. Like the thing that was passed today, or was attempted to pass on Friday, to fund the government, was really, really far right things, cutting like food assistance programs by 30%, really cutting things that would never pass the Senate and would definitely be vetoed by President Biden. Even that wasn't good enough for some people, and therefore the House is stuck. And Kevin McCarthy wants Biden to come in to negotiate. Who do you negotiate with? Kevin McCarthy can't even control his own caucus. So we'll see what happens. I, however, am not relying on government funding. I will definitely be here next week to let you know what is going on. Before we continue here, my friends, as you know, last week I was not here. Where was I? Greece. Where was I in Greece? On the beautiful island of Santorini. And where did I stay? Well, my friends, I cannot recommend enough the wonderful place at La Maison Private Villa. Is a private villa on the island of Santorini, and that is where I stayed for about a week, and it was delightful, beautiful, amazing, most amazing place I've ever stayed on vacation. It is a 2-story villa. The first floor, lower floor is separate from the second floor, the ground floor. So I guess like a lower floor, ground floor. So like the lower floor, 2-bedroom, perfect for a couple or a family. Out of the way, it's pretty much soundproof. You can't hear what's going on upstairs. The upstairs, there's a kitchen, a very comfortable living room. There is a wonderful shower upstairs, shower downstairs as well. Then like a half bath. There are 3 bedrooms on the second floor, 1 with twin beds, 2 with a sort of master bedroom, 1 having a balcony that I sadly did not use just because I was all over the place and just didn't wake up too early to sit on the back, have a coffee, because I don't drink coffee. There's a pool there, which is unbelievable to pop around in at night. And then there's like a lovely little garden area to take a little walk around. And there's a little kind of like a little cooking area, like a barbecue area, off to the side that has its own little roof that I hung out for a little bit. And it's gated, little remote control gate, close it off. And yeah, it's air conditioned, delightful. It is an amazing place to stay on the eastern side of the island, kind of out of the way, very quiet, nice place to relax at night. Beautiful sunrises. You can see the sunset behind the island of Santorini. It is delightful. George, who met us there, fantastic guy, took care of our every need, And it was a wonderful place to visit. And if you, my friends, were ever going to go to Santorini with friends or family, you should absolutely stay here. I guarantee you, you will not regret it whatsoever. It's really close, within walking distance of the beach. Like, you could get there in 3 minutes and watch the sunrise over the beautiful ocean near a wonderful restaurant called Mario's. I highly suggest you check out this villa. If you go to Greece, go to Santorini and stay at the La Maison private villa. I have the link below. It's La Maison Santorini, .gr. Check out the link below, because I'm probably seeing it a little bit off. Check out the pictures. They have their own Google listing. You need to go there. They're fantastic. Tell them that Colt Sebastian Taylor sent you. You won't get anything, but it'll be funny if, that gets back to me. But absolutely loved staying there. And if I win the lottery, I will be going there every single year, because I had a fantastic time there. Absolutely beautiful place to stay, a beautiful island to go to. Definitely need to check it out. The La Maison private villa on the Greek island of Santorini in the Aegean Sea. Aegean Sea. I said the wrong sea. Aegean Sea. Check it out. We now go to music news, where also Friday was a very busy day between Senator Dianne Feinstein passing, government shutdown on the horizon, and an arrest was made in the 1996 murder of Tupac Shakur. That's right. He was murdered, shot in a drive-by in 1996, died later that day from cardiac arrest. And they arrested Dwayne Keith Davis for the murder of Tupac. He's being portrayed as the shot caller, person directly involved with the murder of the famed rapper. The other 3 suspects in the drive-by shooting are all dead. Several dying within the years after that in various other crimes. He is the last one living suspect of the murder of Tupac and whatnot. The case was kind of cold for quite a while until the 2018 broadcast of Unsolved, of which Dwayne Keith D. Davis, who was a Crips gang leader in California, claimed to have been in the car and witnessed the shooting and whatnot, and wrote a book about it as well, apparently. But however, seems like he was directly involved with the shooting as well his nephew. And the police got some more evidence, have been working on it for the last 5 years, and arrested him for the murder this week. Had a search warrant, searched his home, and he is now arrested, apparently. Tupac's family has been waiting about 27 years for this as well. The sheriff, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Sheriff Kevin McHale said, quote, "It has taken countless hours, really decades of work by the men and women of our homicide section to get where we are today. While I know there have been many people who did not believe that the murder of Tupac Shakur was important to this police department, I'm here to tell you that it was simply not the case. It was not the case back then, and is not the case today." So he's arrested. We'll see if he is charged. Well, he's charged. He's arrested. We'll see if there's a trial and he's convicted. But this could finally solve the mystery of what exactly happened in 1996 with the death of Tupac Shakur. So pretty surprised. I was surprised to see that information pop across this week. But yeah, pretty amazing stuff. Moving on to other music news and sports news. As you may have heard, Taylor Swift and Travis Travis Kelce might be a couple. They might be a couple. She was seen attending the Chiefs versus Eagles game. Eagles? Well, she was attending a Chiefs game, and they were filmed walking out together and whatnot. So they might be a couple. Now, this is hilarious to me because conservatives hate Taylor Swift, calling her a whole bunch of names, saying that her popularity is the decline of Western society. They're just really having a big old hissy fit about her because she came up pretty hard against Marsha Blackburn, senator from, I think, Tennessee, during the last election, is definitely not a conservative person. And they just do not like her. And then Travis Kelce did a commercial for the COVID-19 vaccine, so they think this is obviously a deep state thing. Lots of articles about how terrible these two are, how annoying they are, and how other people are much more important than they are. But you know what? For folks that seem to, praise capitalism, right wing, the free market and whatnot, they cannot figure out, it's probably just blowing their minds, because merchandise for Travis Kelce and other related NFL things with him has shot up now that they're kind of a unofficial couple. More women are apparently watching Sunday Night Football as well. And as maybe I remember a few previous stories I've done, how there has been like measurable economic impact of Taylor Swift and whatnot, impacting economies of countries and cities. Well, this week's Chiefs Jet game has seen a nearly 50% increase in ticket sale and ticket prices because Taylor Swift will be attending that game. So Taylor Swift is not only impacting city economies, Scandinavian country economies, but the aftermarket sales of average tickets have also increased as well. According to ticket brokers, the average ticket price rose 46.3% from $428 to $627 after the announcement of Taylor Swift would be attending the Chiefs-Jets game. According to U Stadium and StubHub, quote, the Jets more than doubled the amount of tickets in a single day than any other day in the season. So that when Taylor Swift is coming, they more than doubled the number of ticket sales they did that day than in any other season. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. So, again, don't like the fact that the Chiefs beat the Eagles last year. Not a fan of that. But I am pretty funny that it was all right wings and all torn up about Taylor Swift dating a football player and them not really caring what others think about her. So I think it's great, and it really like there's people going after Taylor Swift. Like, listen, folks, this Taylor Swift fan base is a rabid creature you don't want to mess with. So all of these commentators just like, oh no, she said, let's effing go so loudly in that skybox. There were children around her. Calm down, bro. You are just, if someone doesn't like these two being a couple, it's more about them being a terrible people. Like, I don't know a single good person. Like, everyone who has said, oh, I don't like them, they're well-known D-bags to begin with. They're just terrible people to begin with. It's like, it'd be like basically saying, oh, Charles Manson does not approve of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Well, okay, well, Charles Manson's a terrible person. That makes sense why he went like that. Like, there's no one who does not, no one I know, if they don't like them, they're just terrible people. They're just terrible people. So, it's funny that Taylor Swift is impacting NFL game ticket prices now just by showing up. Talk about a power couple. That's funny. That is really, 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 really funny to me. And Will they date? Won't they date? I really don't care. I don't care. Just as long as they're both happy. That's all I care about. And if it doesn't work out, she'll probably produce good music about it. But anyways, I find that funny. It's fun to watch. And the more people get upset that these two are, pro-vaccine and anti-MAGA is even funnier to me as well. I love it. In other music news, Cardi B, who was on a episode of The Hot Ones, Hot Ones? Is it called Hot Ones? I think it's called Hot Ones. Where it's a it's a YouTube show where celebrities eat 12 increasingly hot sauces while doing an interview, and they kind of, it's like the worst hot sauces there are. Eats them and they interview them. And Cardi B, during this interview, said that she really doesn't like the cleaned up versions of her songs. So she says some pretty explicit stuff. She is the singer of WAP, Wet Ass, you know. And you obviously can't play that on terrestrial radio. So for these songs to be played, they have to record less explicit versions of the song. And she finds it so annoying, saying that it sounds like a kid's bop song. She said during the interview, quote, I just did it practically 2 weeks ago, and I was so over it because, you know, my new song, I'd be like, eat this ass like a plum. I'm doing the clean version, and it's like, baby, eat it up like a plum. And it's like, no, you still can't play that for pop radio or whatever. I'm like, baby, eat these peaches and plums, and I was so over it. Which, you know what? I don't disagree with that irritation. Worked very hard for a very popular song that, you know, the powers that be want to play it on radio, on terrestrial radio, and, you know, they put pressure to make a clean version, and it just sounds kind of ridiculous. You sound like a kid's bop song. So, I don't disagree. That would be very annoying for me. She does get paid millions of dollars, so, you know, gotta get the money somehow. But I found it funny that she found the rewriting and singing the clean versions of her song is annoying for her, and she finds it sounding like a kid's pop song, because it does. So check out that episode of the Hot Ones with Cardi B. It's pretty good. Hot Ones episodes, as they are pretty good. They can get pretty tense. But that she said that in a recent interview about her music. So we'll see if she keeps making those. Probably will. Management / record companies probably put pressure. Might be in contract. But she found that to be really, really, really annoying. Before I continue, my friends, another thing I did while I was on the beautiful island of Santorini is take a bougie cruise on a luxury yacht. And I'll tell you what, it was an amazing experience. I feel like when I sailed past other folks on boats, people waved, and they thought I was Zach Galifianakis because it would look like a really, really fancy yacht. It was from the fine folks of Sunset Oya. Anyways, sailing-santorini.com. Links in below there. I sailed on a wonderful, absolutely beautiful luxury yacht, sort of commanded by Yanis. And then Vicky put together a delicious little dinner, gave a good history of the surrounding candela of Santorini. I went swimming in the water twice. Beautiful blue. I can't tell you how blue the water off of Santorini in the Aegean Sea is. You can look down and see tens of dozens of feet down there. Went snorkeling around. Sailed around the candela. Went past a few islands. Went past these huge cruise ships that I really have never seen up close. Went around cliffs where it's houses hanging off the side. Went through some cave homes. There were some homes that are just a door in the side of a mountain and then goes further in. Crazy stuff. Past one house an island where one guy lived. Some hot springs, sulfur springs. and then watch the sunset with a unbelievably delicious meal put together. Vicky took good care of me on that boat. It is a delightful. If you can do it, you should absolutely do it. I often rail against the rich, but boy howdy, I would love to be rich to be on a boat all the time, because that was a fantastic experience. The boat itself looks like it could sleep a few people, although it doesn't. I don't know if anyone ever sleeps on the boat, but they might pass out by having too much fun. What else did we do? We went to like a beach with a sea cave. I want to say a beach. It's like, a 20-foot beach and then straight cliff. You can only get there by taking a boat there. I built a little rock tower on the beach that'll probably be there for a few months before winds blow it over or someone else will knock it over. But it was an amazing experience. I highly suggest, if you're going to go to Santorini, you need to do this. One of these boats with family and friends at sailing-santorini.com. Specifically ask for Yanis and Vicky. They're fantastic. Do the luxury yacht. I'm not quite sure which one I was on. They have a few of them. They've got a lot. They have a fleet of ships. I want to say it was the luxury yacht Ferretti 550 My Way, I guess. I don't know. I'm just looking at the pictures. And I think it's that one. I feel like it's that one. Hard to say. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's that one. But anyway, Yanis and Vicky. It was a 4-hour cruise. It felt like it was a much longer. I could have done it all day. I was picked up from the villa, which is nice because the road down to the dock, the guy drove backwards down the road all the way because the road is so small and there's nowhere to turn around at the bottom. You have to back down this road to get to the bottom. And so he's going around these buses, and the day blew my mind. And it was just fantastic. So my friends. In fact, I might post a few pictures this week. I'll post a few pictures. But anyways, you need to check out them. Sailing-Santorini.com. I will post some pictures. I will post the link. Check them out. Tell them that Colt Sebastian Taylor sent you. You won't get anything, but it'll be funny if Vicky and Yanis send me a postcard saying thanks for plugging us. Anyways, check them out. You will not regret it as well. And if you're a rich billionaire, be my best friend, and I'll go on the boat with you because I'm a great time. Next, my friends, in other music news, NSYNC is back, baby. They are in a, quote, better place. That's their new song right now. They're reuniting after 2 decades with a new song. Their last album was in 2001, Celebrity. But they're doing a new song for the soundtrack, Trolls Band Together. The movie out November 17th, where Justin Timberlake, member of NSYNC, voices a character named Branch. For those who may need to be reminded, the NSYNC group is Justin Timberlake, Lance Bass, Joey Fatone, Chris Kirkpatrick, and JC Chaz. They have a new song called Better Place that, quote, offers a finger-snapping chorus, quote, just let me take you to a better place. I'm so excited to see you excited. And danceable beat, similar to Justin Timberlake's Fizzy, Can't Stop the Feeling from the first Trolls movie in 2016. 7 years ago. Really? That's crazy. NSYNC was recently on The Hot Ones, which I just mentioned in an earlier story. Great series. Should really check it out. Timberlake said the band wanted to give the fans something that felt not necessarily nostalgic, but familiar. When we listen to the world today, we're obviously influenced by 20 years of experience, but we still want to give them us. It's a new song out, so check it out. The song comes 2 weeks after they reunited in the 2013 MTV Music Awards to present a fangirling Taylor Swift with a Best Pop Award. The group was a major boy band in the late 90s, early 2000s, with such hits as It's Gonna Be Me, which is often the main meme of Gonna Be May, Tearing Up My Heart, That I Promise You, and Bye Bye Bye. Their last on stage together appearance was a decade ago, was in the VMAs to briefly perform when Timberlake received the Video Vanguard Award. They broke up in 2001 with Justin Timberlake going on a solo career with his 2002 album Justified, as well as a pretty good acting career. He's been in several movies, and I've seen several of them. Not too shabby. But anyways, NSYNC coming back with a new song, first song in over 20 years for the new Trolls movie, released this week. Check it out, especially if you are a fan of the group. Also, check out their Hot Ones appearance. It was pretty good and pretty funny, so you should check that out as well. Next, my friends, we go to a crime in the United Kingdom where a tree was cut down. You might not think, oh, that's not a big deal, but no, this was a famous tree, the Sycamore Gap tree, also known as the Robin Hood tree. If you've seen the old movie Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, there's a scene where Robin Hood saves a boy who climbs the tree up for the Sheriff of Nottingham's men under this beautiful tree along part of Hayden's Wall. Well, someone cut it down with a chainsaw this week. Some dumb teenager, 16-year-old boy, he should go to jail for quite a while for that. What a jerk. One of the most famous trees in the world, named Tree of the Year in the United Kingdom, have been there for hundreds and hundreds of years, cut down by some jerk with a chainsaw. It's cut off. There's no replay. It's dead. They cut it off right at the trunk. According to the park, the Northumberland National Park Authority can confirm that sadly, the famous tree at Sycamore Gap has come down overnight. We have reason to believe this was deliberately felled. Obviously, the chainsaw marks was a bit of a clue. It is, like I said, one of the most photographed trees in the world. And some teenager jerky jerk cut it down. I mean, why would you do that? So I think he obviously needs. I mean, you might as well it's like dynamiting Mount Rushmore is a very famous tree that is known around the world, and this little jerk cut it over. So I definitely think you should go to jail for that. According to the police, they arrested a 16-year-old boy in connection with the incident. He remains in police custody at this time and assisting officers with their inquiries. Given our investigation remains in a very early stage, we are keeping an open mind. We are working with the relevant agencies and partners with an interest in this iconic Northeast landmark and will issue more details once they are known. The tree is over 300 years old and is located right next to Hadrian's Wall, built by the Romans in 122 AD to mark the northern limits of Roman Britannia. Again, it's also known as the Robin Hood tree because it was primarily featured in the film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves in 1991. According to North Tyne Mayor Jamie Driscoll, who posted on Twitter, quote, "I can't express how angry I am at the vandalism of the tree at Sycamore Gap. People have had their ashes scattered there. People have proposed there. I've picnicked there with my wife and kids. It's part of our collective soul." And it was voted the best English tree of the year in 2016. So there's more details. I will definitely follow this because, gosh, what a cultural tragedy for some dumb teenager to do this. There's no good reason, unfortunately. So, anyways, you know what? Have a 10-second moment of silence for this famous tree, both a movie star and a cultural landmark in England. Well, my friends, that just about wraps up this week's Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Remember, you can find me on the Twitter, on the Instagram, on the Counter Social, the Threads, Facebook at Colt S. Taylor. Check out ColtSebastianTaylor.com. I'll update it one of these months. And, of course, since you're listening to this, you are a subscriber, I'm sure, of the show at Anchor.fm. anchor.fm/ColtSTaylor. Invite your friends. Have a listen. It's a good time every week. You might learn a thing or two. And of course, check out the 2 links below in this post: the La Baison private villa in Santorini, and also the Sunset Oya sailing. Check out the Candela, the Great Island of Santorini. Both those places, very nice. Check them out. Well, until next time, my friends, I'm of course your friend, Colt Sebastian Taylor, and I'll see you later.